All right, what's up, YouTube? This is BoxingWave. I want to review Luke Keeler against Demetrius Andrade last night on Dazn. This is for Andrade's WBO strap at 160. All right. Not the fight that we all wanted to see. We all want to see Andrade against the Triple G's, the Charlos, the Canelos, or whatever of the world, Billy Joe Saunders. But we got Luke Keeler, all right? Not the worst opponent, but not what we really want to see. It's similar to like Dennis Hogan or uh, some of the other guys that are trying to get a fight with Canelo. Same level of opposition that Andre kind of has been facing since he's moved up to 160. Now, the thing about it is this. I know Andre and Hearn are actually putting the pressure on Jamal Charlo to make the fight. All right. I know they're putting a lot of pressure. Um, Canelo kind of does what he wants to do. Triple G kind of does what he wants to do as well. It's not like Andre doesn't want to fight these guys. He wants to fight them all, you know? And he's been consistent lately, the last couple years. He's been consistently calling out these guys. Eddie Hearn has been trying to do everything on his end to get a fight with these guys, but they don't really want to fight them. In the meantime, Andre is stuck with fighting guys on this level. Now, Keeler is not a bad fighter at all right? Um, he beat Louis Arias in his most recent win, who's been in there with Jacobs, been in there with Gabe Rosado and stuff like that. He's not a bad fighter. It's just, I just, we don't want to see this, but what I will say is that I'm at least happy that Andre is staying active because when he was at 154, when he didn't get the fights that he wanted, he was inactive. He got stripped of the title because he wasn't fighting. So I'm at least glad that he is getting the fights done, regardless of the fact that he's not fighting who he wants to fight. I mean, he was supposed to fight Billy Joe Saunders. That would have been a great fight, but Billy Joe tested dirty, and he moved up into a different division, and got an easy title up there. All right, so some of the things that's happening with Andre's career, even though I want him to fight better fighters, it's not completely his fault. Now let's talk about this fight. This fight was Andre, very very fast starter. He comes out launching that straight left hand, and he drops Keeler on a very very first punch. All right. Outside of that drop, he's being very physically aggressive with Keeler, pushing Keeler down on the ground. Uh, I don't want to count. I don't even want to count how many times Keeler fell on the ground without actually getting dropped. I believe Andre scored two knockdowns in this fight before the fight was actually stopped. Okay. Um, Listen, performance wise, it wasn't the greatest, because Andre tends to fade as the fight goes on. He was very, very aggressive, but he was very sloppy. This is one of those fights where he didn't look that impressive, but yeah, he could look wild and everything like that, but he's getting the job done. He's getting the job done. It might not look pretty, but he is trying to stop every single one of these guys that he's facing. And I like that. When he gets his opportunity to fight a Charlo or a Triple G or Canelo or a Saunders or whoever it is that he may possibly fight in the future, I'm sure he's not going to fight as wild. I've seen him fight better and calmer against certain opponents. Okay, when he fought Vanis Monterosian, you know, um, he started out with Selecki fighting wild, but he slowed down and he started fighting smarter and was trying to win rounds. Uh, but Andre is like a guy that wants to actually knock you out. He likes to fight. He's very physical. He's very very well rounded. Very 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 well rounded boxer. And he's not boring. So I don't want to. I'm just like kind of nitpicking. It's like I like his performances overall because he's doing what he has to do when he gets in there. All right, he tries to destroy everybody he faces, And I can't really blame him for that. You know, it might not look pretty, but it is what it is, you know? And I think he'll be a tough fight for anyone at 168, or even once, or well, 160 or at 168. All right, but listen, at this point, keep on putting pressure on Jamal Charlo. All right, I don't know what's going on with the PBC and Jamal Charlo, man. I have no idea what's going on, man. I mean, Eddie Hearn has even been willing to say that, listen, we'll go to Showtime to fight you, bro. Like, they're sending him big, big offers. And with Andre going over to Showtime, like, what does this guy got to do to get the fight at this point? Does he have to give you his whole entire purse at this point? What did this guy have to do? And I'm going to make another video about this with Canelo, but dude, what does he have to do to get you in the ring? And Jamal, I love the Charlo twins, man. Those are my guys, but this is just getting out of control. Like, you can't really even defend it at this point. Like, you guys have history, Like, people have been wanting to see this fight since you were both at 154. And it didn't work out then, and I'm not going to blame the twins completely for the fight not happening then, because I made videos back then talking about how it was Demetrius Andrade fought at one point. But this is many, many, many years ago. This is like 5 years ago, man. Like, what do Andre have to do to get you in the ring? It's a unification match. The guy is willing to go to Showtime. What exactly does the guy have to do? They're throwing a lot of money. 7 million. I believe 7 million is what I heard. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but dude, fight Andre, man. Like, we gotta see that fight. At some point before I die, I gotta see Andre fight one of the Charlo twins. Like, there's been way too much talking over the years for us to just. No one is just gonna forget about that fight, especially because Canelo, Triple G, these guys are not gonna face you. They're doing their own thing. So in the meantime, you guys gotta fight each other. And yes, you have more to prove. Um, Same goes for Billy Joe Saunders, man, and him being at 168. He went up there and crept up there to 168. He's not fighting Callum Smith. He's not fighting anyone, period. And he got away from fighting Andre. And Andre still wants to fight him. I'm sure Andre would go to 168 to fight Billy Joe Saunders. So what's going on with that? Like, if we can't get the Jamal Charlo fight, which we really want, let's get a Saunders fight. Like, these guys gonna have to fight somebody, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. Eddie, I don't know. Well, I don't know with Jamal Charlo. I don't know what's up with him. But Eddie, if you can't get Saunders and Callum Smith to get in the ring, which really should be happening, Demetrius Andrade needs a name. And he needs a quality opponent. More than just the name. He needs a quality opponent at 160. Make it happen. So, yeah, I think that's said everything. I do have to speak on Canelo. All right, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.